New Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, Gears of War is hitting the PlayStation 5, and I've got some reviews for you. Let's go. All right, you guys, I had to get outside. It's too beautiful out, so welcome to Reviews on the Rundown, or Rundown on the Run. We're going to talk a little bit of news, and we're going to have a couple of short reviews of things because it's been an entertainment avalanche. You know how it is. Every month or so many things happen at the same time. I've been consuming a lot of cool things, so I want to review some of these things that I've been checking out. But let's talk about the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, which just debuted today as I'm recording this, and it has been delayed. The game is now coming out in May of 2026. They pushed it back a big chunk of time, at least 6 months, I think, probably from the theoretical release date that we were looking at for 2025. And I think that was a big, huge sigh of relief for every video game that's coming out this year. And it's also something really remarkable to look forward to next year. And I think what they're doing is taking this year to just really polish and tune. And my theory is they're also bringing Grand Theft Auto 6 to the PC on day and date because we knew that that was going to be an inevitability. It was going to hit the PC for sure, but I also now think that they are working to tune this and release this for the Nintendo Switch 2 as well, which should have a healthy install base by the time the game is ready to go. Now, the game itself looks absolutely staggering. I actually tweeted out that this is veritable proof that we all live in a computer simulation because look at how good games look in the year 2025/2026. It's ridiculous. This looks so realistic. Not so much the facial animations. I think we still have a ways to go when we're crafting these huge open world environments. And you can see, you play Jason and Lucia, and you can just sort of take control, and you're in a cut sequence, and you're doing some things that are very game-like, although they don't overtly point to HUD elements or pieces of sort of information on screen that relay that you're actually in-game. But that's the magic, isn't it? Because you never feel that connection between gameplay and then story elements. It's so seamlessly put together. The trailer is gorgeous. What struck me, though, is certainly all of the cars and all the bars and all the combat and all these incredibly cool action bits. But just as the cars are driving through the streets and you see all the debris and garbage and all of these little extra extraneous details that you wouldn't even think you would need in a video game, somebody had to decide where things were going to get dirty. I don't know if any of it is procedurally generated or an artist actually was working on junk to put on the side of the road and to show where grass would grow and not grow and to make that seem as realistic as possible. But it looks like we are dealing with an urban environment that we're all very familiar with, an urban environment that needs to be cleaned up, you know, in many senses of the word. And it just feels, it evokes realism. It's crazy how far we have come in such a short amount of time with video games. This game looks staggering. I know it's going to break all kinds of records. I know it cost a ridiculous amount of money. The projections are $2 billion to make this game over the last, 15 years or something like that? It's just been a long, long time that we've been waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6. But man, look at this thing. Does anybody out there have any doubt that this is going to be worth the wait and inevitably a higher price tag, because that's where the game industry is going right now? But man, this looks incredible. Let me know your thoughts about Grand Theft Auto 6 in the comments below. Now let's move over to Xbox and how they're publishing everything. I think this camera I'm shooting on might be an Xbox as well. But PlayStation 5 is getting Gears of War Reloaded, which is also coming to the Xbox platforms and PC. And people that have already got the Ultimate Edition of Gears of War on Xbox or PC get the upgrade to Reloaded for free. And of course, there are 4K enhancements and some frame rate enhancements, and it's going to run 120 frames per second in multiplayer mode. It looks incredible. I am very happy that Xbox is celebrating Gears this way and getting us prepped for E-Day and really showing off the magic of that first game. It was so incredible, such a revolutionary step for video games, so influential. Everybody picked up on the active reload after that game came out and that sort of cover shooter dynamic. And it was just an awesome combo, again, of great gameplay and storytelling. You cared about these characters, you wanted to know more about them, and you were excited about where these tales were going to go in subsequent sequels. And Gears set the tone for that, and so I am absolutely stoked to play Reloaded. And of course, this is coming off the heels of the exceptionally successful and unsurprising launch of The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion Remastered, which was lovingly handled by all the developers at Bethesda, and I think it's Virtuos who worked on doing the port job here. And they upgraded everything. They kept a lot of the jankiness of the original, but they upgraded the textures and the character art and the animations, and there's just so many great touches in this exquisite game, and I know people are going crazy for it. I played not very much of it so far because another game came out at the same time that I've been playing a little bit more. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but Xbox is on a tear with these remasters, and this was supposed to be a stealth drop, but everybody knew it was coming, and it's great. And it's also a hugely successful game right now, too. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered is one of the biggest hits of 2025. Oblivion Remastered and Gears of War Reloaded are also games that are actually priced fairly well, even though they're remasters of things that we played before. But the move right now, as we're all talking about, is pricing going up. Xbox recently upped the price of Xbox consoles all over the world, not just in the States. And this, of course, is tied to the tariff trade war thing that's happening out of the US and around the world. And we're all waiting for the news that PlayStation is going to increase the pricing on PS5 Pro and PlayStation 5 consoles. It feels imminent. It feels like every supplier out there, especially if they have pieces of what they're selling made internationally, is having to answer what is going on with this trade war with price increases. And PlayStation so far, as I'm recording this, hasn't announced that, but it feels like if you've been on the fence about buying a PlayStation 5 or a PS5 Pro, you may want to jump on that because you're probably going to be spending a little bit more as the supply that's available in stores kind of goes away. And of course, we know that the Nintendo Switch 2 is priced higher than we anticipated, and games are starting to go up as well. Crazy time right now. But if you've been sort of sitting on the fence and you've got something priced down in the video game space that seems okay for you at this given moment, you may not want to hesitate, because I don't think things are going to drop in price. I think things are going to go up in price. But that also underlines something that's been made with what appears to be so much care, like Oblivion Remastered and Gears Reloaded, coming in at sort of value pricing that much more appealing. All right, let's talk about some of the things that I've been playing and watching. Let's start with Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I've been checking this out on Xbox. It's part of Xbox Game Pass, which is a great deal. This is a beautiful game from Sandfall Interactive. It's coming out of France, and these are ex-Ubisoft employees, which I'm sure Ubisoft is very disappointed that they lost, because this game is a massive success. I just read it's over 2 million sold right now, and for good reason. This is gorgeous. People are loving this game, as am I. I'm not especially deep in it because I've been doing a little bit of traveling. I went to the Nintendo Switch 2 experience, but I got back to it and I've been playing it. I've also been playing a lot of Doom: The Dark Ages, and I'll have a review of that for you soon. But I have been going back to this game and adoring it. You play a character named Gustav. Well, you start as a character named Gustav, and you've got other characters that join your party, and you can go on this huge expedition to try to uncover the mystery and solve this calamitous dilemma that the world faces, where people reach an age of 33 and then they're evaporated in a very Infinity War-esque shower of rose petals, which looks like the dust from Infinity War. And Gustav loses friends and people that he loves and cares for. The game is unabashedly mature, and it really deals with the sense of finality and mortality that we all carry around with us. There are lots of really poetic sequences where characters are sort of questioning their drive and their reason for living, and all of the loss that they have to accept in this really dark dystopian nightmare of a world. But it's also resoundingly beautiful. That's one thing that you can always count on French game makers for, is they make gorgeous looking games and also gorgeous sounding games. Gustav is played by Charlie Cox. We've got Andy Serkis is in this game, and lots of other voice actors that we know and love from the Sphere. And everybody is excellent. All the performers are excellent. The music score is unbelievable. It really envelops you. You really get sort of taken in. The game is quite challenging, though. You can play it in kind of story difficulty level and sort of get through some of the battles a little bit easier. But it's turn-based combat, and some of these bosses and some of these creatures that you have to face will take you to town, and you are going to have to replay some encounters over and over again, as I have. But it's so rewarding. It's so cool. There's lots of different layers. Of course, all the characters that you're going to add to your party come with new abilities, beautiful magic spells, and all kinds of surreal little flourishes and touches. I am blown away by what I've played of Expedition 33 so far. I'm going to give what I've played so far a 9 out of 10, and I can't wait to get back to it once I wrap up with Doom. Now, as I've been traveling, I've been playing a lot of Blueprints, which is actually, I think it's available as part of the PlayStation 5 collection of games that you get with PS Plus, I think at a specific tier. And I don't know if it's on Game Pass, but I've been playing it on the ROG Ally X, which is a perfect fit for the game. It's not an incredibly visually taxing experience. The whole idea with this game is that you're entering a mansion and you're kind of reverse Tetrising rooms in the state, like you're actually building out the mansion, you're crafting rooms, which sounds so weird. And that's kind of the surface level of the game. There's an overarching mystery and lots of other little tiny details, but you're basically, as the game is beginning, and I've got a lot more to play of this one as well, you are trying to kind of get to the sort of end stage of this mansion and trying to fill up as much of the mansion as you can. But of course, the rooms that you drop in have doors that go in different directions, and it's all randomized. You don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes you can pick up power-ups that will help you determine rooms, or you can re-roll the rooms. And once you go up to a door and want to select you want to go into the next room, there's no way on reversing. You have to choose one of the choices that are up there. And so you find yourself stuck, and you create this maze inside of this mansion. And if you can't go any further, you also only have a set amount of steps that you can take. A step is every room that you enter into, whether you're coming back to it or not. And so once you deplete your steps and you can no longer create rooms that progress you further into the mansion, you have to close out for the day and you start a new run. And so you're just trying to learn the intricacies of the game, the mysteries of the game. It's a total brain tease of an experience. It's very surreal. It's very evocative and moody. There's lots of little puzzles, like you'll walk up to dartboards and you're trying to solve like math equations and things like that, or there are boxes that you have to open that have gems in them. You're collecting keys and you'll unlock cars that will surprise you, or you'll drain a pool, or you'll go into a security room. I've got a lot more to play. I know that once you beat the game, that's really the beginning of the game. It's one of those things. It's one of those play it and play it and play it and kind of perfect it. It's kind of like a puzzle game, roguelike. I'll tell you this, there's nothing else like it, nothing else exactly like Blueprints. It's very special. It's one of the coolest things I've played in 2025. Again, I've got a lot more to play. And again, what I've played so far of Blueprints, also a 9 out of 10. Now, I've also been consumed with lots of linear entertainment. Let's talk about some of the shows that I've been watching. Andor, I actually got to see the whole season early because I interviewed Tony Gilroy, the showrunner and head writer on the show. Brilliant man. And Genevieve O'Reilly, who plays Mon Mothma. And so I was really excited to do that, and I was excited to jump back into Andor because Andor Season 1 was one of the most satisfying Star Wars journeys I've ever been on. I've loved this character, Cassian Andor, who admittedly I didn't love when I saw Rogue One, but under this new sort of umbrella of embellishment and getting to know this character a lot more, holy crap, is he one of the coolest creations in Star Wars. And holy crap, do I wish that Tony Gilroy had come to Star Wars a little sooner. I feel like a combination of Tony Gilroy and Dave Filoni working together to create spikes out of the George Lucas sort of style of creating stories in this universe, in this galaxy, would have been amazing. And now that I've seen Season 2, I'll tell you this about Season 2. Again, it's one of the smartest, most literate pieces of science fiction entertainment I have ever enjoyed. It's up there with Battlestar Galactica and The Expanse in terms of telling stories that are allegories for what's happening in the world now and on a rinse and repeat kind of cycle in the world. It's about the fight against fascism. It's about rebellion. It's about standing up, and it's about how rebellions start as little sparks and little fires all over the place, and you can't put them out once people have that in their heart. And it really dives into that. It has this kind of proto-French resistance kind of quality to it, as the Empire is really shown to be evil and human and flawed and ugly and scared and terrifying, and also scared of themselves, scared of their own shadow. There's no trust. And we get so many layers. But this show is so freaking well written. I had to watch it with the subtitles on because I didn't want to miss 1 second of dialogue. I was just blown away by the writing in this. And of course, all the performances stack up. Stellan Skarsgård is incredible again. The effects and the scale, like this merger of practical effects and Mandalorian-style screen-based effects, is so flawless and wonderful. And all these different planets that we get to go to and how the rebellion kind of sort of takes hold and really stretches across the galaxy, expertly told with this. And when I talked to Tony Gilroy, I kind of brought up the idea that this series now, with season 1 and season 2 and Rogue One, is almost another perfect trilogy. It's really an awesome opportunity, I think, for Disney and Lucasfilm to look at this work and do one of two things. Recut everything a little bit to make these a theatrical experience. I think a lot of people would go to that and be very entertained by that. But also examine some of the other characters from Rogue One and maybe splinter off and create other stories with them. Maybe not whole 2-season arcs with everybody from Rogue One, but there's lots of really interesting characters in there. And, you know, these are characters that aren't carrying lightsabers around. They're not really tapping into the mysticism of the Force, but they really underscore the terror and the horrors that the Empire means in this galaxy and what it means to just survive in these actual wars. It's a mature take on all of it. And holy crap, is it satisfying, especially for somebody that also loves the more theme park Star Wars experience as well. I love going to Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, and I love shows like The Mandalorian, and I've been entertained in lots of different directions with Star Wars. But this, as someone that's been around for the whole ride, you know, I saw Star Wars in 1977 in the theater, and to see this sort of mature with me and with many millions of others out there that have been along for the whole ride, just something incredibly powerful and wonderful. This is up there as one of my favorite Star Wars stories ever, the whole Andor experience, and this season is as good as season 1, if not better. It's definitely bigger, and there are time jumps in it. It's not to be missed. It's up there with The Mandalorian as my favorite stuff in Star Wars on Disney+. It's right up there with that. I love it. 10 out of 10 for Andor Season 2. Now, it's too soon to review the whole season 2 of The Last of Us, but I'll talk a little bit about watching the first 4 episodes of the season. I just watched the 4th episode last night with my wife. It's a weird one for me because I'm so entrenched in The Last of Us 2 game again. I'm playing it on PC right now. I've been playing it on the ROG Ally X, and I've also got a new laptop in that I'm going to be talking about pretty soon that has a 5090 card in it. So I've been playing it with all the bells and whistles, and God, it's an incredible game. And to see so much of it replicated on screen and twisted a little bit with the show is very strange and surreal and incredibly satisfying. That second episode completely knocked me on my ass. I could not believe how awesome the pivots were and how well everybody handled the source material and the subject matter and how big it got, how much it escalated, and it was some of the most thrilling and action-packed television ever. You know, my wife, who hasn't played the games and was watching it with me, with her hands were in the air, she was like, "Oh my God, what is happening?" It just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, obviously, there's a bit of a realization after that, and a little bit of a build-up to the revenge tale that sort of starts to happen with the story in the game and now with the show. But I have to say, it is so surreal to see images from the show that mirror a lot of the look and feel of the game. That's so front and center in my mind. And so it's this weird, it's like you're watching a dream you've had, and it's deja vu in such a interesting contextual way. But I cannot help but applaud all of the creative work across all of it, the games and the show. And it blows me away that Neil Druckmann is sitting there in the director's seat and in sort of supervisory role on both things at the same time. It's such an incredible story. I actually texted Neil after I watched the second episode. I couldn't freaking believe what I had just seen. I was so blown away. I definitely want to hear what you guys think of The Last of Us Season 2 so far. And I have to tell you that Bella Ramsey, Isabella Marquez, and Caitlin Dever are all doing incredible jobs as Ellie, Dina, and Abby. They are really, really good. It's really blurring the line of remembering what the characters look like in the game and then seeing different faces. It's the same that I felt with Pedro playing Joel, suddenly that line got blurred and I could almost see Pedro's face when I was playing as Joel. And it's so weird. It's just that we haven't really ever encountered this where there's just such excellent work being done across two mediums like this, and the lines are being blurred like crazy. I'm especially blown away by Isabella Marquez, who played Dora in Dora the Explorer, and I thought she was great back then. That's a really terrific film, by the way. If you've never seen that movie, it's crazy. But she's excellent, and she's so open and vulnerable. She just wears it all on her face so well. And excellent casting there. Different style, different take on Dina, but in terms of getting to the heart of the character and how much she cares for Ellie, it's really been a trip to watch that. And I can't wait to see how this season wraps up. They're really digging into The Last of Us Part 2 storyline, but I know that the game is going to offer more than one season's worth of television show. So I'm curious about where they're going to end up at the finale for season 2 and where they're going to pick things up again for season 3. But man, this is a hell of a show. I'm loving it. I can't give it a total score yet. I haven't seen how the show wraps up this season, but it's getting a 9 out of 10 for me so far, and it's making me itch to play the game some more, so I guess job well done. I've also seen a couple of movies recently. I saw the Minecraft movie. I took my daughter and her friend to go and see it, and this was before the chicken lava hype started to take over and all the sort of trashing of movie theaters started happening. It's a surreal, insane film. My only real complaint about it, because, you know, visually it looks a lot like the game when everybody's in Minecraft world, and I don't know all of the lore. Like, I'm not like a Minecraft savant, and I'm not going to pick it apart that way. But of course I've played these games over the years. We've talked about Minecraft a lot across Electric Playground and Reviews on the Run. And it's a juggernaut and it's a sensation. And I'm super happy that the movie has caught on with the crowd it's supposed to, and people love this freaking thing. But my only real complaint is that the characters of Jack Black and Jason Momoa are so similar. They're just such rowdy boys, and they're just such rockers, hell yeah! And they just feel like kind of shadow images of each other. And I think that they could have done something a little bit more interesting in the crafting of the story of this tale to make the characters feel a little different and disparate from each other. They're also reflections of the same humans that they always are whenever they're on talk shows or on red carpet lines or whatever, and I feel like there could have been a little bit more embellishment in there. The other actors are having a good time with this, and I'm not saying that they don't make me smile. I think Momoa and Jack Black are huge megastars for a damn reason. They're very charming, and they're obviously having a good time in this movie. And there's a lot of quirky, silly moments and crazy over-the-top shenanigans that are enjoyable. And I think that's the thing. Like, the movie never takes itself seriously. It also knows why we like the quirk in Minecraft as a game, you know? And it really understood the assignment. It's a massive hit for a reason, and I applaud that. And my daughter and myself and my daughter's friend, we all left and we're like, that was actually pretty fun. That was a pretty cool movie. It's not going to win Oscars. It's not going to be the most memorable of the video game stories out there, I think, in terms of linear media, but it's pretty damn fun. I'm going to give Minecraft the movie a 7.5 out of 10. All right, that does it for our reviews on the rundown, or our rundown on the run. I don't know what to call this. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of these various things that I talked about in the comments below. We will see you soon, and until then, play forever.